That is true.
Alright, so record video. Oh, I can't wait to tell you what's going on.
Hello and welcome to Beats and Beatdowns, the linking of double bass and pummeled face. Now for your hosts, Span and Alfonso.
Which means we are underway. Welcome to Beats and Beatdowns. Hello, my name is Span and I do not know why I am talking this way. This is the show where a rock star and a rock radio DJ talk fight, sports, and rock news. I'm Span, like I said, the rock radio DJ.
And I'm Alfonso in my Michigan State gear today.
And you're a rock star.
No.
Yes.
No.
Would you please stop talking so softly? Please? Please? Like, you get real animated later, but when you're soft, I'm trying to, like, adjust the level, and all I hear is...
I got in trouble at work again for that. I'll show you the recording, and then after the show, I'll show you the recording.
Okay.
So like you can listen and you can like see what they said.
I'm pretty sure it's nonsense. It's just it's the way this thing works. Like I'm literally looking at the waveform of your voice right now, and I'm like I
can't help it, man. I'm just
you
like,
can, because you get animated all the time.
No, yeah, but it's just like I'm just chill, until something like.
Anyway, I forgot to scream. Oh, man. Can you tell we have a good time? Today we're going to talk about John Schaffer again, because everything happened.
Again?
That guy just
Jesus
makes me feel so good, so warm and fuzzy. John Schaffer of Iced Earth and all his just trials and tribulations. Rob Halford, he put on something very interesting that I would like to not only get your take on, but, we'll see if where the conversation goes.
All right.
Atreyu's Brandon Soller finally responds to Alex Varkazabazaba's diss. And, we have some more things with Trap that I think are going to be a lot of fun.
No.
Plus, our Haymaker hashtag. That's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to something else, Alfonso, I got to tell you, today, when I was at the station doing some work, Terry was there. And Terry is the gentleman who runs QN06, the station I work for. And Terry was like, hey, good to see you. Your timing couldn't be more perfect. I was like, why is that? He goes, I'm listening to my new favorite podcast. And my old boss, the guy who used to run QN06, I think that's a better way to put it, he has a podcast. I was like, oh, you're watching his podcast? Or you're listening to his podcast? He's like, no, I'm listening to Beats and Beatdowns. Hi, Terry. Hi. Hey, man, every fan, I will take it. Every download, I'll take it. And by the way, little housekeeping, I was looking at our download numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
They're looking pretty good?
We are, okay. November, we had our lowest download numbers, period, full stop. It was ridiculous. But
that makes sense because of the holidays.
Yes, but it broke me up. Like, inside, I was a little hurt.
Nah, bro, that's the holidays.
Yes, October was our best month ever at 468 downloads. December, we rebounded from November to 400 plus. Now we're at 500 plus for January.
Sick.
And we still have a few more days.
Nice,
so more and more people need to keep listening, keep pubbing it, keep telling people.
For sure.
Whole thing. So we're having a good ass time, and I am just
keep listening to Span fail at trying to call me a rock star.
So, now that I've put that out there, as we prepare to get things underway, Alfonso, do you have any social media scraps?
Hey, Alfonso, who are you fighting with today? Give us that social media scrap of the day, man.
I kinda do, but not. I don't. I forget what I posted, so I have to go.
Yeah, I've seen several of your posts because I go on Facebook and look at my news feed.
Yeah.
Like, I've done it more in the last month than I have in the last 3 years, and the nonsense is just unbelievable. But I'm finding more people to kick off my Facebook, so there you go.
There you go.
Oh man, I'm just dropping people left and right, dude. I'm only at 80
that's what it was. I got
I'm only at about 80 people so far, but I want to be at 800 by this point. But anyway.
Okay. First and foremost, Did you see that? Like the day that, like the first day in office of Biden, did you see a bunch of dummies posting this like copy and paste nonsense about like what the stock market is at and what the housing market is at and what the unemployment rate is at or anything like that?
I saw one or two of those.
Okay.
And immediately I kicked both of those people out of my stuff.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I just can't believe that people don't like take 2 seconds. You know what? No, 30 seconds to just find 2 or 3 of those like factoids and like Google them and then like just find the actual facts. Like it's not that hard. Like it really isn't. And like
these people are a copy and paste generation. Like they are a generation ain't fair, but a copy and paste group of people where like discernment is done for them. There is no such.
I like, and the thing is, it's like I'm the type. I just naturally think like if it sounds like bullshit, it probably is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I must be in the minority of this type of thought because there's way too many people that just post stuff like that.
Yes.
Don't do any like critical research or nothing, right?
Nothing.
So they posted this thing and it's like, it's just so wrong. It's like, we haven't, North Korea has been under control. Like, no, they haven't. The only reason why they stopped testing missiles is because like they ran out of money or something like that. Nothing to do with like.
Actually, they had the rumor is that dear leader contracted COVID-19.
Yeah, so something happened. It had nothing to do with like Donald Trump or anything like that.
No, it had nothing to do with Donald
And then
Trump.
of course, and my favorite one is like, the stock market closed at like 30,000 points. I'm like, okay, idiots. There's 3 parts to the stock market. Quoting only one of those parts is not actually right. There's the NASDAQ, there's the Dow, there's the S&P. Each of those closes. Those are the 3 parts of the stock market. Although the Dow is probably the one that's most viewed, it's still not the only one.
Yeah.
So that's not right. And besides, the factoid they gave on that was totally off. And I'm like, just Google it, man. It's like public knowledge. So anyway.
Also, to interrupt you, sorry again. Every halfway capable economist has said that the stock market is not an indicator of growth. Now, you could have said that up and through the 80s because a lot of people's pensions were tied up in the stock market. So the fortunes of the middle class were involved in there. But I mean, how many people in the middle class, has stocks right now? Yeah. The answer is like way less. Like,
way less.
The stock market affects literally the top 10% of this country.
Yeah.
Literally.
So like the fact that people just like the things that they say, I just don't understand like how people come on here and they're just like, they just say the dumbest things. Yes. This one guy comes out here, of course it's the same guy. Okay, this is my favorite part. Okay. My buddy, who is one of the other judo coaches at MSU Judo, he is also one of the professors of the math program at MSU and research. And he just got tenure, I believe. Okay. Right? So if anybody understands numbers, it's a professor from Michigan State University who teaches high-level math to graduate students. He doesn't teach the like basic classes. He teaches graduate students. So this guy's not, and then he's getting paid for math research, which I don't know if you've ever seen math research, but it makes no sense. It's just like problems that'll never be solved.
Well, it's all theoretical. Yeah, it's like literally a bunch of, and I was talking to my girl about this the other day, and I said, people who are like fans of Trump insulting like legit facts are like people who are just learning to grasp algebra laughing at quantum physicists because all their equations are just letters. They're like, you're not even doing math, bro. Those are all letters. I mean, I don't see any. How do you get any answers to that? And it's like.
But my favorite part about my buddy is that he's. I told him, I was like, you do realize you're like the stereotype. I'm like, you're Asian and you're good at math and you're a professor. of math, right? And he's like, yeah, I know, but still.
That's by design. His parents, like, see, I'm not even joking when I say this. His parents are probably a little bit disappointed because they're like, you have to become a doctor. It's like you get to be a doctor. If you are like Chinese in descent, or you're like Southeast Asian, not including Japan, you are, or definitely if you're Korean, you're like kind of required to be a doctor, and they'll settle for engineer. Okay.
I was watching the Hassan Minaj show or whatever, the Patriot Act or something. Mm-hmm. He made a joke. He was like, you know, this kid, whatever, got into MIT, graduated with honors. He's like, you hear that, parents? That's called proud. You hear that, Asian parents? That's called being proud.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna say anything other than doctor or engineer, you may as well just go into porn. Like, to say, I'm gonna spread my cheeks on OnlyFans. It's just as bad to your parents. It's like if you're like, yo, mom and dad, I'm making $70,000 a year with my degree. They're like, you failure. You failure. How are you supposed to support me?
So my buddy, again, you know, very bright individual,
right?
You know, whatever. He came on and he said, because I said, please just research. Basically, my post was just research this stuff. Like, if you want to share this stuff, that's fine. Like, if you want to share your opinion, your rhetoric on whatever your political thing is, fine. Mm-hmm. Just please research it and make sure it's factual. Fair. Just make sure it's factual, please. For God's sakes. You know, so he's like, also, according to the Freddie Mac, the average rate for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 2.79. It's not even close to 2.25 as claimed in this, you know, thing, whatever. He looked it up. And he's like, also, the GDP growth rate is calculated compared to the previous quarter, and 2020 Q2 was worse contraction than during the Great Depression, negative 31.4%. This makes the current growth rate look really big. Mind you, again, ooh. He is a professor at MSU, okay? Ooh,
hearing all them number chats gets me in the
professor at MSU, okay? All right? My buddy comes on, he's like, this other guy comes on, he's like, also, even though rates are bottoming out and unemployment is up, housing market is through the roof. And I'm just like, you literally said nothing. Why would you come on here?
Yes.
Like, he's just trying to be like, well, that's not true. The housing market's up. And my buddy's like, yeah, it is, but it just makes it look better because it was so terrible.
Yes. 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 If it was a 9 before and it fell to a 0 and it's back up to 2, that doesn't mean the housing market's good. That just means it's gone. It's recovered a little. Like, somebody who I've known for years, who, like, I consider a friend, he posted something on his Facebook talking about this type of stuff. Like, yeah, the economy is great, like this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I mean, at no point did they mention 400,000 people dead.
Yeah.
At no point did they mention, like, people, like, setting records for needing food, sitting in food lines. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not talking about all the people who are in medical debt, all the people who are in student loan debt. Like, none of that. Like, just, they managed to cherry pick a whole bunch of factors that prove their point.
For sure.
And they say, well, that's the end of my point. And it's like, you were not slapped nearly enough as a child.
Like, you know, it is surprising that the economy has been as resilient as it has been during this pandemic in certain aspects. I am surprised. But then again, I'm not, because we have managed, we're in 2021 to where, and in 2020 to where working from home was already something that had been being practiced by not every single company, but enough companies for a good amount of time that most companies had experimented with it in some way. Mm-hmm. Most IT teams now are very, you know, you've got a built IT network for most companies, most, you know, corporations and all that other good stuff. So I'm not surprised in certain aspects that we've been able to get through it relatively unscathed in certain aspects of an economic, you know, crisis in certain aspects. However, if this had happened in like 1999, like that's it. Like this would be the Great Depression. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because we were nowhere near being able to work from home at any capacity with that, right? So now we have although most people that have normal, right, 9 to 5 jobs have been relatively okay, because, you know, if you work for a bank, or if you work for an insurance company, you work for, you know, automation company, you can still do your job. It's not a big deal. The problem is the people that have work face to face, servers, bartenders, restaurants, all this other stuff. Those really affect the economy too. But we're not going to be seeing that until probably now, coming into 2021, into this new election cycle. We'll start really seeing how that's going to come, because we're Q1 now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So,
well, restoring the services industry will literally revamp the entirety of the economy.
Absolutely.
Like, that's why everything else is so resilient, because the thing that's hurt most are like concerts and service industry. Everything that puts people into places with other people in close capacity.
Yeah.
Like everything that, I mean, literally the ability to do stuff at home, the invention of Zoom, Teams, and all this other
WebEx,
stuff,
whatever.
that has mitigated the economy in
a
way that some people actually believe, we're okay. It's like, nah, bruh, we are not. Like 900,000 people just filed for unemployment.
Yeah, we're not. I would say, I wouldn't say we're okay. I would say we're managing to keep the water out of the boat long enough to try and plug the boat holes up. But
I agree.
You know, like, but like, we're at that like fine line. You know what I'm saying? It's a very fine line. But I mean, you know, eventually, as history has shown, we will get through this pandemic, and you know, we will.
We already have 2 vaccines out there, and 2 more are in the pipeline. For
sure, so we will get through this, and it seems like economists are really hopeful that once we do inoculize enough people and all this other stuff, and we can open back up at normal, what normal would be, because let's be honest, we're never going to be normal again.
It's not, way COVID-19 spreads. Like, I don't think since, I mean, in our lifetime, I don't think I've ever heard of a disease morphing, like mutating as much as it has. Like, there's the South African variant, there's the UK variant, and like there might be 1 or 2 other variants that still aren't yet to, and who knows how many other ones. And this is all in the lifetime of this disease, since it's been in human bodies for what?
For like
14 months?
Yeah, whatever.
No, it started in like November. So
November,
we're looking at like 13, 14 months. This thing is mutated 3-4 times. Like, mutations are a rarity in science. Like, mutations are like, whoa, it mutated, and this thing's been around for a year,
especially
jumping out of bat bodies.
Especially for viruses. Viruses don't really mutate. Like bacteria, for sure. Like the bubonic plague, for example, it killed so many people because it just kept mutating, because it's bacteria. Bacteria can get used to things really easy.
Bubonic plague is bacterial?
Yeah.
I thought it was viri.
No.
Okay.
Bubonic is a bacteria.
Okay, cool.
Like, I'm pretty sure. Look it up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the bubonic plague was a bacteria. Viruses, obviously, you can't kill a virus once it's in the host, because you will end up killing whatever.
You'll kill the host.
You're killing the host, basically, right? That's the tricky part about viruses. So, you know, but viruses don't mutate. I mean, let's take HIV and AIDS, right?
Well,
let's take AIDS.
The flu mutates every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's different variants of the flu for sure, but it's not common for viruses to like mutate rapidly like that. You know?
Oh my god.
I mean,
this is bananas.
You know, it's like HIV, for example, right? AIDS, like it's been the same virus forever. It's never mutated, right? It's never really like, you've never had like maybe you had, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that it's just been like AIDS. Like,
no, like,
this is AIDS,
HIV has had mutations, but nothing.
But
nothing like HIV has not mutated
to a way, like that, right?
Yeah,
so
like not even.
It's the same. It's sort of the same thing, but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, once we get back to it, I think it'll be better, especially when people are saving up their money right now.
Yeah.
So I listen to like a lot of NPR and stuff. So, but yeah, like when I posted this and just seeing so many people like just post nonsense, and it's like that you read it, and I'm just like, this is clearly made up. Like, this is clearly just completely false. And I just wonder, like, where do these things originate from?
Some people have just
crazy.
decided that their worldview that they share with other people is the correct one because it hit them in the feels a certain way. It affected their life a certain way that they think is beneficial. And like, they've just, no matter what their family, no matter what their friends say, they're just hunkering down and they're believing this no matter what. They've literally chosen this. And to say it's cult-like is 100% accurate because it's not based in facts. Like, and you could say this about Fox News since its inception. I mean, I've already said the whole genesis of Fox News was based on the idea that Richard Nixon could have survived Watergate if he had a network extolling his virtues and defending him on television. Like, you're literally saying this news network would have saved a man who created crimes and everyone agrees to it. Like, people who aren't informed on Nixon will say that it's Republicans that saved the day. No, it's not. It's Democrats that went after Nixon. The Republicans fought the whole way until they got to a point where those Nixon tapes dropped in, and all of a sudden they were saying, you gotta quit. You gotta quit. But they fought. They fought and fought and fought. So anybody who says Republicans saved the day and prevented us from getting blah, blah, blah from Nixon. No. That was Democrats. Republicans just finally acceded and said, okay, we'll give in. The problem is Republicans today ain't giving in. Yeah. But we talking too much. I don't want to talk about that no more. But I mean, we kind of going to, because speaking of someone who hasn't acceded, John Schaffer of Iced Earth. Ooh, I just want to rub my nipple.
I can't believe he came up again.
Oh yeah, dude. He has been okay. This is as per Blabbermouth, the 50-year-old musician who resides in Edinburgh, Indiana, is currently being held in the Marion County Jail after surrendering to police Sunday. Now, he's going to be extradited to Washington, D.C. to face everything over there. But it hasn't happened yet, so he just sits in jail. Which, okay. No, I'm not getting into that. I was going to talk about the jail system, but I was going to get mad, and we're going to go off on a jag. And then, like, 3 hours later, we still ain't finished the podcast, and we got stuff to do. So, anyway, everything I hear about John Schaffer being in jail just kind of, it represents the entirety of, like, white grievance. That was like, we're taking this government, and now the government's like, no, we taking you.
No, we got you, bro.
Yeah, come on. Get these bracelets.
Come here. Get these bracelets.
Get these bracelets. Eat this gruel. Oh, you like that? You don't like that, do you? Like, you could have stayed home.
I got a one-piece suit for you real quick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You like your jam jams? You like your orange jam jams?
You like the Walmart $1 sandals?
Oh, my God. Oh,
we got you.
It's like, it's not even Crocs. It's like Cruh.
It's like
You have the most busted ass, bogus ass. I hope you don't have flat feet, because you just gonna hurt, bro. Because they ain't got orthotics for you, son. Like, how you gonna groom that really long, like, goatee you have, Mr. John Schaffer? Oh, you're not? You're just gonna get scruffy and normal?
It's so depressing, dude.
Yeah,
oh my God.
And what's so funny is, I've said it before, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it's the most important tweet out of all this stuff. All these people thought that they were gonna go overthrow our government, reinstall the president that they want, and then go home and go to work like all was good. Like, bruh, like, you know, we are a country full of protests. Like, that's what we are. We know this. We began in protest and murder and genocide, but we began in protest, and in beginning in protest, like, we knew when we told the British to fuck off, they're gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
And then they were going to shoot us. We had to hide in the trees. We had to hide amongst the sand and the dirt so that we could sneak up on this massive red army that was just trump through the areas. Like, we had to hide in the forest and sneak them at night. Like, we
guerrilla
knew,
warfare.
Yes, like, we knew that when we said the government as it is constituted will not do, that we were gonna have to fight. And we'll fight with our lives. These folks was like, yeah, I'm just gonna, gonna go hang out with my buddies. You know, I met on Parlor. I'm gonna just go hang out at the U.S. Capitol. I mean, we're talking about overthrowing it. Who knows? I mean, if the police let us through, we'll see what we can do. And then, you know, maybe we'll fight Nancy Pelosi, you know. But, like, then, you know, once it's done, I'll come home, you know. We're planning a vacation for later this year. Yes. I might have enough with the stimulus to go to Disney. It's like, no, bro. That's how this works. Once you go against the government, you need to go somewhere and hide. And anytime they put their stuff online.
Yeah, right?
Oh, my God.
Like... I think that's just like guys like John Schaefer and stuff like that. Like, I think that's the epitome of like the whole white privilege argument.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
That like those guys were so confident.
Yes.
That nothing was gonna happen to them.
Yes.
Right. That they were just like, oh, I don't care. Like, take a picture of me on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Yes.
You know, like, take a picture of me hanging out with my mom in the Senate house.
They were
like,
posing. They were giving their full name in video. Black protesters was like,
mask up. Yo, can you see my fingertips? No, they gonna tell, bro. Like, can't give them any sort of DNA. Like, put it up. Let's go.
Like the one guy who tried to hide his face, the guy who had all the zip ties, who said, I wasn't going to do anything
at
violent.
the hotel.
Yeah, he hid his face. But the funny thing about that dude is he wore a hat that was from a very specific coffee shop in like Washington, D.C. and like a shirt that was from like another specific business. So you knew that this guy had some type of affiliation. So they went through like employee roles and that type, and they found him. And he was hiding his face. He was wearing gloves.
Man.
Like, this is the quality of, like, folks was getting tear gas and had the nerve to complain.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I've been tear gassed. Again, black protesters is like, and like, how many rubber bullet bruises do you still have? Like, have you been shot by a rubber bullet? I have not. Have you?
Hell no. No, thanks.
I
man.
heard it hurts a lot. I've seen videos of people like holding up their shirts.
Hurts.
Like,
that shit'll kill you, man.
Oh my, yes it can.
If they're close enough, it can kill you.
I still remember that video of this white protester kind of like flicking off the police, and one of the cops in like riot gear aimed a tear gas canister and shot it at his face and hit him from like, it looked to be like 20, 30 feet out. And I was like, how is that whole battalion not in jail? No. Like, that's not policing. That's, anyway, John Schaffer. Every time I hear something bad that happens to him, I'm just gonna be like, tee-hee, tee-hee. So yeah, stay your ass in jail. Oh my God. Moving on. Something else that makes me happy. Rob Halford, okay? Rob Halford, since he released his book, okay, we all knew Rob Halford was gay because he came out years ago.
Yeah. He's very proud, which is cool.
As well he should be.
Which is cool, yeah.
But Rob Halford has decided, you know what? Since quarantine began and the whole book came out, he's like, I'm going to let you all know just how gay I really am.
Now he's like, I'm out the closet and I'm jumping in the pool. And then after the pool, what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to jump in the jacuzzi. And from the jacuzzi, what we're going to go ahead and do is jump in this gay limo real quick.
Man, we are literally about like, I don't know, maybe I'd say 6 months from a Rob Halford OnlyFans, where he's just posing with young men. Dude. And he's just like, this is me. And this is this is my one pool boy.
If he's smart,
other pool boy.
If he's smart, he should do that. He will make an insane amount of money.
Yes.
If he's a smart guy, he'll eventually do that.
Yeah, I saw an interview with one chick who's on OnlyFans, and she said her first month she cleared 6 figures.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, that one actress, Bella Thorne. Like, it was
funny.
funny.
Yeah, but that girl sucks.
I don't know why you say she sucks, but okay.
Because, like, so... I don't know if you heard the controversy about it, but here's the thing. It's like that the problem with celebrities joining in on these things is the fact that it's like it's the same reason why it sucks when a Walmart comes into a small town that has all these small businesses, right? It has all of the power and network to bring all the business to immediately. Bella Thorne is a very famous child Disney star who then has been in movies and stuff like that have been popular. When she joined OnlyFans, she made so much money on the first day that OnlyFans had never been used to that. So they basically, because of her bullshit, they basically started capping everybody's salary and paying like, yeah, it was a big deal. Like a lot of OnlyFans, like big content creators went after and were trying to sue Bella Thorne, because what ends up happening is, okay, imagine you have this site that becomes popular, this business that becomes popular, right? But it's popular enough. So it's popular enough in growth that is normal. It's a normal rate of growth, right? Mm-hmm. So you've got all these OnlyFans creators doing their thing and making their thing, and you're able to, because of the growth, how steadily it goes, you're able to pay whatever amount pretty speedily, right? Uh-huh. From one day to the next, you go from what you're used to in a week to in 24 hours. They don't have the capacity to pay all that money and all those resources immediately, right? So Bella Thorne comes in and she does her thing and she makes like $2-3 million in like a day.
Yeah.
In the first day, which of course puts OnlyFans like the owners of the OnlyFans site on high alert, because they're like, we don't have $2 million just sitting around to pay right this second. That's not. That we can't do that. We're not there yet, you know? So in order to do that, what are you going to do? Because you have to take it from everybody else and make sure and then you tell everybody else you got to wait for your money. And then on top of that, she didn't do what she said. She made it sound like she was going to do one thing, but never actually did it, right? She made it sound like she was going to do nudes.
Oh, okay.
And she didn't. A lot of people that paid to subscribe didn't get that. It was just her and like bikinis and stuff. Okay. Like no titties. And everybody's like, what the hell's the point? I can see the no titties of your cover spreads everywhere. Like, I don't give a crap. Right? So that screwed over a lot of OnlyFans creators, and it really made a big deal. Like, you should like look it up when you have time. It's big.
I actually have. And
okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to disagree with you. And here's why. The guy who created OnlyFans created it specifically so that, like, as he said, he could be lying.
Yeah.
He could be lying. But he said he designed it specifically for fans of certain people. Like, he wanted to make, if you're let's take Serena Williams, right?
Yeah.
Now, she's making money from, like, endorsement deals. She's making money from winning tennis tournaments. She's making money. Yeah,
she's a megastar, man.
But, like, she doesn't make any money from posting pictures on Instagram. She doesn't make any money from interacting on Facebook. He was like, what if I could commodify that for the entertainer? When he designed it, it wasn't supposed to be for sex. It was just supposed to be for people who were fans of certain celebrities.
Yeah.
It just so happens, like everything else, new tech comes out, we use it for penises and vaginas. It's just how we are as humans.
Yeah, we're fascinated.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I see you there, but it wasn't. It was more actually designed for people like Bella Thorne, as opposed for people like Booty Chick number 7 on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about blaming Bella, I'm kind of like, the $2 million thing, that doesn't really sound like a Bella Thorne problem. That sounds like an OnlyFans problem.
No, yeah.
And here's why. Like, you have to pay for your membership to be on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, OnlyFans don't give you credit. So it's like the idea that OnlyFans didn't have the money to pay her, that sounds like a failure on OnlyFans. Like, that's not Bella Thorne's fault. Also, the funny thing about Bella Thorne and not posting nudes, it was hysterical to me when I heard she had an OnlyFans. Because remember when we talked about OnlyFans once upon a time, and I was talking about how it's going to be like a massive income change between, like, it's going to, over time, we're going to see women with more financial power in this country than they've ever had. Because they're like, hold up. We have these bodies. Men want to see these bodies. Instead of sending a pic to a dude, how about I charge him $5 for a nude? Like, and that's literally what's happening on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Bella Thorne, like, every time I've Googled her, the first thing that shows up is her in mesh tops.
Yeah.
Maybe her flashing her boobs on Instagram or Periscope or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So when she went to OnlyFans and decided that she wasn't going to get nude, I was like, good for you. Like, you don't have to give anybody anything.
No, yeah. But the problem was like I don't have anything invested in this. Like, I don't really give a crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just have friends that do have OnlyFans and stuff. And I'd read, it would pop up in my Yahoo News feed and all this other stuff. And the thing with that particular part is that she started.
I would love for you to bring in, a friend of yours that is on OnlyFans.
Sure, I've got a couple. I got a few.
Okay, I'm actually nervous about this because my girl is very jealous with this type of element for stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to have a conversation, and I don't want to have that conversation. But this is life, and this is the first long-term relationship I've ever been in. So this is the investment I make in both my career and in my relationship. So this is a bridge I'm gonna have to cross. So whenever you want to bring her in here, so we can have this conversation.
Yeah, I can ask a couple.
But like the idea, like if OnlyFans decided to start capping people's money after Bella Thorne,
that's what happened.
They shouldn't sue her. They should sue OnlyFans because
how that goes
but this is a conversation for someone who has an OnlyFans account
for sure.
And I would love to see how it affected once Bella started because like nothing about this. To me, seems like Bella did anything wrong. She took advantage of an opportunity that was out there. It sounds like this company who had this service all of a sudden had all these people jump to this one girl and was like, oh, shoot, we don't want to pay out this much money. It's like, if you don't want to pay out this much money, why do you have a service? Yeah. Like, you can if you have enough money to have enough lawyers and like back yourself up. You can change the terms of any agreement.
For sure.
But it's absolutely preposterous that this one woman will come in, start making all this loot, and all of a sudden you decide, well, we can't pay out this much. Like, you absolutely can. Everybody involved is paying for what they get.
Another argument that the community of OnlyFans content creators is most people who are doing their OnlyFans and doing this, most of these females, this is how they started to gain their income, a really big income. They didn't have like a leg up. With everybody's complaint with her, the creators and stuff, was the fact that she was already rich. Like, why does she need this? Like, so that I don't know if I agree with it or not, but like I do see the point, and it'd be like Barron Trump, right? Like, he's 21 or 22 or whatever, and his dad gives him $15 million, and then he goes and like buys this small, really successful business just to make another 15 and screws over a bunch of like really hardworking, smaller dudes. Like, I get it. Like, I really do. But I will play the devil's advocate and say, like, that's capitalism. That's the American way, unfortunately.
I have no sympathy for any OnlyFans people complaining about Bella Thorne. Yeah. Yes, she started with a leg up because she got to do the whole Disney thing. Yes, she gets to be a movie star, and now she gets to make money on OnlyFans.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? It's tough. Some people start off with a leg up. Yeah, it stinks.
It
sucks.
It's not fair.
Yes.
It's unfair, all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, sort of that whole what's that I have it on my wall. And I always stare at it. It's depressing sometimes.
Yes.
But you're like, no one gives a shit.
Just work harder. I saw that on your wall. I was like, that is wonderful.
My buddy made it. He's a really big
welder or something.
Yeah, he started as a welder. He's got an interesting story, man. He's got a really interesting story. We should get him on the show.
Yes, please. Bring
because
him on.
He was also a booking agent for a really big hardcore punk band.
No, bruh. We can't do this. Like, we're almost at 40 minutes
I know.
already.
I should ask Dane to come on the show.
Yeah, please.
Okay, but, I'll ask him to come on the show.
The whole reason this OnlyFans started, we took this whole trajectory, is because Rob Halford has started. He on social media, on Instagram specifically, he wore platform heels.
Wow,
tall ass platform heels. Like, if I was in these mugs, I would be in another, like, I mean,
I'm gonna have to look at this real quick.
Yeah, go look for it, man. He is in them and he is strutting. Like, he's got his cane, he's got a back shot for you, he's got a front shot. He is strutting.
Get it, Rob.
Good for him. Yes.
Get it,
but I
dude.
had the thought when I saw this article, I was like,
Oh yeah, look at him.
would you wear something effeminate on stage?
Me?
Yeah.
No, like
What if you went on stage in all your regular gear, but instead of a t-shirt or other shirt, you wore like a corset?
I wouldn't for one reason, more so because I'm not confident. And here's what I think. Well, let's look at a guy like Lil Nas X, or I just look at a lot of rappers, period.
Yes.
Let's just look at hip hop
Yes.
in general.
Yes.
Hip hop style, how it's changed
Yes.
from like the 90s, Wu-Tang, DMX, all those dudes, right? What that style was, the Timbs, like everybody looked hard. Like they were just like hard. Like you're like,
Yes.
yo, I don't want to mess with that, bro. That
Yes.
like Rakim, like all these dudes are just like,
Everything was all about intimidation.
They just look like they're like, if I saw Wu-Tang Clan in like the middle of an alley and I'm with my groceries and shit and they're all like, hey, what's up, bro? I'd be like, I'm cool, man. Like I don't, like they just look hard. Like you're just like, yo, I don't want no trouble. You know what I'm saying? Now hip hop, it's more like flamboyant, and I don't say that in like a negative term. It's more like about celebration,
Yes.
and personality,
Agreed.
and bringing in and showing that they're more than just a rapper.
Yes.
Right? Which is really cool, which I
Yes.
think is really cool, which is why I think hip hop has like friggin' skyrocketed into stardom and stuff like that.
Well, it just hasn't gone away, man.
No, yeah, for sure.
I think rappers became the new rock stars in the 90s.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when,
100%, bro.
Rock stars in the grunge era started bringing rappers along for like songs and stuff.
100%,
And
man. 100%.
rappers have been rock stars from day
one.
one.
Day one.
But they really crossed hard in the 90s.
But that's-
and like they have never. It's only gotten.
That's
bigger.
the really interesting part about hip hop to me too. It's like these guys they created this persona that was intimidating and hard, like the hardest group in the
Yes.
early 90s, NWA. Like you were like, yo, those guys will shoot you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you were like hardcore. But then Wu-Tang came along. They're like, those guys will beat you up and then tell you a story on a book they read while they're
Yes.
beating you up.
Yes.
Like they're hard, but they're like smart. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So,
Yes.
but the interesting part about that is all of those guys did all those things and they created this thing, but all of them were all fans of music and rock, and they were
Yes.
studying metal and rock
Yes.
artistry.
Yes.
They just never let you know that they were doing it, right? Because it
Well, 'cause
seemed like
back then you couldn't.
You couldn't, right? Yeah, right?
When you said you are a fan of one type of music, everyone else around you assumed that was all
That
you
was you
listened
listened
to.
to. Yep.
Like now, it's absolutely ludicrous to just listen to one type of music. Since the iPod generation showed up, like people look at your taste. Like if you look at a playlist on somebody's phone, you'll see maybe
Random.
some country, you'll see
Random,
some rock,
random,
see
random.
some R&B, hip hop, you'll see some classical.
you're never gonna see just like Wu-Tang, DMX,
Yeah.
Mace, Little Nas.
Nope.
Like you're gonna see like everything, right?
Yes, you'll
So-
see a diverse musical diet.
So what I'm getting at with those guys is I wouldn't, because I don't have the confidence that those guys do. Like that's what I find really, that's what I admire about hip hop the most. And something that I learned in just recording music, like being a singer and recording and trying to learn how to like rap and stuff. It's not so much about what you say. It's just selling it
Yes.
with your voice, right?
Yes.
Like
yes.
and I can't explain this to the listener and to make it make sense until you try it. It is so hard to say something, whatever line Tupac may have told you in a song, maybe if it was real or not, the fact that you believed it is the hardest part about rapping and stuff like that, because you have to sell that. And if you don't have the confidence as a rapper, you will get eaten alive.
Yes.
You can hide in rock.
Yes.
You can totally hide that stuff in
Yes,
rock.
yes.
In hip hop, you can't.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Like the example we're always going back to, homeboy that was a corrections officer. What's his name?
Oh my God.
I forget his
the
name.
Maybach music guy.
Yeah,
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, right?
Yeah.
Let's take him for example.
He is the biggest fraud in
Right?
hip-hop.
But that dude has survived and he made you
Yes.
believe everything, you know what I'm saying? So that's really hard. So hip hop artists have really mastered the art of confidence.
Yes.
Completely. So I couldn't go on stage wearing something like that because you would tell that, yo, that dude's really uncomfortable. But when like,
Bruh, you mean to tell me that if you got on stage in that corset and your first song came on, you still be thinking about that corset?
I would, because I'm pretty self-conscious like that. I really would. But here's the thing. However, if the 90s, Nirvana did the whole dress thing, right?
Yes.
And that became a really big deal. So for me, it would be about it. I think the wardrobe would play a role for me. Something like that felt like too vulnerable.
Yeah.
I would probably not be able to pull it off.
What if I offered you $100 to do it on your first show back?
I would do it. It's not that I wouldn't do it. It's just I don't know that I could pull off the confidence. Now, if you told me to get on stage and dress like Nirvana did when they played, in their like big summer dresses, I'd totally do that. I wouldn't give a crap. I mean, I've taken my clothes off on stage and put a sock on my dick and I played naked for one last song. Like I can do that. Yes, that's a thing, and we can talk about it later. So anyway,
all the guff you give me about talking about your dick one time, and then you tell that
Red Hot
story.
Chili Peppers, man. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I know it's a Chili Peppers thing. It's still an outstanding Chili Peppers
But yeah,
thing.
so I mean, I could, I definitely, it's not that I wouldn't. It's that like to consciously do that.
What about
is
full
weird.
drag? Like full on full drag.
That's-
like maybe not heels because that takes practice. Like
Yeah,
I saw,
yeah, no,
I've
wearing
been seeing
heels
so
is
many
not a-
chicks like dancing in like 6-inch heels and stuff, and I'm like,
That's mastery. Dude.
Yeah,
that's an art form.
yeah, like it's like female dancers are even though men typically lead in tandem dancing, like the females obviously. The
Hey,
most
bro,
talented.
when strippers are wearing those high heels and they're doing all that shit on that pole, you guys don't understand how hard that is, bro. Like, give it up for those girls because that is not an
It
easy
is
thing.
not. It
Straight
is
up.
no joke.
So I mean, I don't know. I think that I could, but it's like I think for me, it's just like, am I in the mood to do something like that for fun?
We
You know
will
what I'm saying?
revisit this
Yeah.
as we do the vaccine thing and it shows.
Hip hop artists are the masters at that, though.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, Lil Yachty dressed up as Oprah for a music video, and I was like,
No, bro, Little Yachty.
rappers could never have done that in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, not even the 2000s,
Dude,
man.
the dude that he's a weird ass rapper, dude, and he wore that blonde wig.
Bro, there's a lot of them now.
No,
man.
yeah.
These rappers nowadays, man. Like I see a lot of pastels. I see a lot.
No,
of,
I know,
a lot
but he's-
more Roy G. Biv. It used to be like black, blue, gray, red.
He's like
And
a
red was
big-
when you were like, yo, I'm Crip affiliated.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
wait, I'm blood
Yeah,
affiliated.
blood.
Like so, it's like now these dudes are just like,
Everywhere.
I'm embracing
Spectrum,
everything.
yeah.
I will do what I want.
I forget his name, but the dude is an interest. He's just a weird guy.
You better not be talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine.
No,
Screw that dude.
no. Black dude started. It's hard because they all start their own clothing companies and they all become successful. It's like
Yeah.
like Black Entrepreneurs 101, bro. Like they're all just like masters at it.
Yeah,
you know.
once you become famous at music, like your next goal is to get everything else. Because music, as we already discussed,
Hip hop started that.
Yes.
Wu-Tang started that.
well, no, I don't think they start. I think
No, bro.
artists capitalizing on their artistry in a variety of ways probably started. I want to say back since music began.
But not hit, dude. 100%.
Hip hop is taking it to the next level.
No, hip hop was the first to make like clothing companies from their own merch. Like that was Wu-Tang. Nobody did that
They did.
before Wu-Tang. Like you could go to a show and buy
Nelly and
merch.
Applebottom,
Yeah,
Kanye
yeah.
and Yeezy.
Yeah, like
Man.
so before the Wu-Tang era, right? You of course would go to shows and you buy your Poison shirt or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
buy your like Tupac merch or whatever. Wu-Tang was the first actual group, performers, artists that were like Woo Wear. Like they made a clothing line.
Yeah.
And it was all sick. And everybody, tell me you didn't want a Woo Wear jacket with that big ass W in the back.
Never. I've never been
Oh
into
my
Wu-Tang
God.
Clan.
All right, whatever,
I always
bro.
thought they were awesome, but I was never
Yeah,
into
of
their
course,
music.
bro. Of course. Yeah, we know. You're better than all of us.
I'm gonna tell a Wu-Tang story, and then we're gonna move on. Also, fuck you.
Anyway, I wanted that Wu-Tang jacket for real.
Hey, look, if bands I loved had that gear and I had that money, hell yeah, I'd be hyped. But I've never been into clothes. Dude, I got like 19 black t-shirts.
But Wu-Tang, they started it, and then rock stars started in the early 2000s, that whole emo era.
Yes,
that's when
yes.
rock bands. I was like, why did it take you guys so long? They've been doing it since like '94.
Okay, quick Wu-Tang story. It was like FHM magazine. They were
Yeah?
interviewing like I think it was RZA.
Oh, so sick.
And there was like, they were like, okay, RZA, there's a rumor that in Sweden you guys went through like something like 100 box of condoms with groupies backstage.
I believe it.
And RZA was like, I can neither confirm nor deny, but yeah, it probably went down. And I was like, wait a second, what? Like, because you know Wu-Tang, each one of them got to have a friend or two. You got a tour manager who definitely needs an assistant for 9 brothers overseas in Europe, keeping them organized so they get on stage and be sober, except for ODB because you can't keep him sober.
Yeah.
But like they were he quoted this one time. He goes, man, there's this one time ODB, he came in. And I hear it in ODB's voice. He's like, yo, I just got this one bitch and I fucked her and now I'm about to go get another one. And then he was like, literally, it was like, and this is when he started to open up about it. He's like, it was literally just like them just going and grabbing another groupie, getting some condoms and just going to town. I was like, that is surreal.
Dude, the Wu-Tang is... There were a lot of hip-hop stars that, sort of transcended into that rock star type of lifestyle. But those guys, man, I mean, like, what Wu-Tang created and what they've managed to establish is... They're legends, dude. I mean, like, every one of those dudes is sick at rap. Like, RZA, Jizza, Raekwon, like, ODB, Method Man. Like, I mean, like... And it's not just rappers, like composers. Because RZA is a composer. That dude's not just a rapper. Like RZA, you don't understand how many.
Ghostface Killer.
My God,
like
bro.
Several of them have gone on to score films.
Yes.
They've gone on to like write films.
Yes.
And I'm not saying these films are winning Oscars or nothing, but they are making money.
Ghostface is probably my favorite of them. He's got this Ghostface. Like, when he raps, his candor is just so sick. That dude is so sick.
Okay.
Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So
I could go on about Wu-Tang forever.
We both, man. We just be running our mouths. But something awesome I found on Blabbermouth. It gave me all the tingles. Atreyu's Brandon Soller finally responded.
Oh, he did.
Barkatsis.
Interesting.
Yeah, because once upon a time he goes, man, they're releasing this new song, "Save Us." It's fake heavy. Well,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we talked about that.
It's funny you say you remember. That was 2 months ago. Plus, like, they released that song and like they didn't. Nobody in the band said anything, and I always thought it was weird. I was like, are they ever gonna say anything? Well, in a recent interview, Brandon Soller, the former drummer of the band, now lead singer, he's like, I thought it was hilarious because I think everyone heard it and was like, okay, because like they don't care. He's like, and to quote him more, the 4 of us were very, very adamant on this whole thing. He's referring to the split with Alex Varkatsis. He says, being very, very positive. There's no shitting on people that we want to do. There's not a part of us that wanted anyone to shit talk us or him. And our whole stance was like, this is what it is. But we can still lift each other up and make our fans feel good about the fact that there's no beef. There's no whatever. Now, there's no beef with them for him, or so they put out that public presentation. But like clearly he has a beef with not being in the band anymore. But to hear that the band is just taking this very like zen approach to this, it's like,
well, I
wow.
mean, I think I'm not surprised. Like, the band atmosphere has really changed. Like, band dynamics in modern culture has really changed. Again, in the 80s, it was like, I mean, like, it wasn't news unless like Motley Crue was punching each other in the face and fighting out in the middle of the street, right? Like, that was like sensational news. That was the whole rock star thing, right? Like, that was like, that's where terms rock star came from, was these rock bands doing these nutty things, like destroying hotel rooms, banging a bunch of groupies. That's where the term comes from,
Pissing
right?
off the cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing their shows
exactly.
too late.
Yeah. Like that was like the whole, like, the embodiment of a rock star was like against the establishment, what was seemed taboo, right? Now it's like, years ago, you know, rest his soul, man, but Vinnie Paul had done a interview years ago, and they had asked him about what's it like touring in this day and age compared to when he was younger. He's like, I'll tell you what, the younger guys are focused. Like, I'm out here like, hey, let's have some beers, and most of them are like, no, we don't drink until we're done playing. Like, we got to get this done. And he was just like, Jesus, just have some fun, guys. Like, it's changed a lot. It really has. So had this been like, if this was like in 1994, I would be like, oh my God, really? Like, they're like super cool about it. But now it's just, most bands just don't want to deal with any of that headache. They're just like, dude, like, just whatever. Let's just get over it and keep working, because now it doesn't, that sensation, for whatever reason, that sensational news with the public just doesn't sit well for a very long time. It's sensational at first, you're like, but then people start getting, because the internet, and people just start trying to kill each other on the internet. So it's like, that news, you know, the whole like, there's no such thing as bad publicity, it does end up being kind of negative for the band, and it does affect. So I'm not really surprised that the band itself is just like, screw whatever, we don't care, because they're the ones still getting the attention. Alex has to now bide for the attention, right?
Yeah. I feel bad for him, because clearly, like, the band is so copacetic without him. It's like, bruh, like, how long have they wanted you out? Because, you know, bands, like, they only kick somebody out when they're so toxic. They're like, we don't know what to do. Meanwhile, they spent years traveling on the bus with this dude. Like, keeping him sober before he says something stupid. Like, keeping him away from his phone before the show because he's trying to talk to girls instead of getting on stage and doing what he's supposed to do. Like, there's so many problems. Like, whenever there's problems with a band, it's almost always the lead singer or the lead guitarist. And more often than not, it's the lead singer. So keeping the lead singer, knowing that they had to move on from their lead singer, was probably like, for all of them, like, damn, like, we don't want to do this, but like, for our survival, we have to.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't think, very seldom is it like somebody really wants to. I mean, most people are just being pricks, of like. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not surprised, but good for them. Good for them for just being like, whatever, man, we don't need, we're not out here needing to get attention because we already have it. Like, you clearly aren't in the band anymore, and you have to vie for attention some way. So whatever. Yeah.
Well, someone who needs attention is a gentleman named Atman Izatar. I think I said his name right. Izatar.
I don't know.
He matters because he is our Haymaker hashtag.
And who is this gentleman?
Who's making news in the world of fight sports? We'll find out in the Haymaker hashtag.
Now, our Haymaker hashtag is stupid is as stupid does.
I'm already worried.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe, when I saw this, I could not believe what had happened. Like, okay, so the very idea that they get to have this show with any type of live gate, which is a paying customer who comes into the venue to watch the show, is that they create an environment that is as COVID preventative as possible, right?
Yeah.
So what's the one thing you can do in a situation like this to piss off everybody involved with all this money on the line?
Talk a bunch of crap?
Worse.
I don't know.
Break the bubble.
Break the bubble.
As per sports.yahoo.com, the bout between Azaitar, who is 13-0 overall, by the way, 2-0 in UFC, and Matt Frivola, was scratched from the card early Friday after the official weigh-ins, but no reason was given. Which is like, whoa, why is a fight scrapped after the weigh-ins? Because the weigh-ins is kind of like, it's locked, it's going to happen. So if it happened after weigh-ins, it's a big deal. Dana White later told Farah Hanoun at MMA Junkie that it was because of the fighter breaking safety protocol. What he tried to do was sneak some friends into the bubble. Yes. So not only
why take that risk, man?
Not only was he kicked off the card, but he was released from UFC.
Of course, I believe it, because that can really screw the UFC, especially on Fight Island.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
You're in.
No, I'm not.
You're in Saudi Arabia, basically.
Yes.
Right. A Muslim-controlled country.
Yes.
Whose laws are literally designed from religious script.
Yes. So you're already in an area where being
Strict.
a typical American can get you in trouble.
Yes. Oh my Lord.
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Oh,
but no, it's for real. So UFC, they rebooked the fight with Frivola against a guy named Arman Tsarukyan. Whatever, I can't say his name. But you can find the links to all these in the show notes. The guy Frivola was supposed to fight didn't make weight, but they're just figuring it out. And they're gonna make it happen. Dustin and Connor is still on. But yeah, Azaitar, I mean, he literally tried to get people. He tried to sneak his buddies in. And it's like, let me see. There's a quote here. After Azaitar... My mouse wheel's being stupid. After Zaitar and his team crossed into the safe zone on Fight Island, they cut their wristbands off and handed them to others so they could get in the bubble.
That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
Yes. Oh, this guy got inside the bubble, went in through a room, shimmied down 4 balconies, and went in through his balcony and dropped a bag off. We don't know what. And then changed his clothes and went back outside of the bubble. We got everything on camera. We saw the whole thing and how everything went down. And we pulled his fight and cut him. I mean, bro. Azaitar has to be the stupidest man on earth. Like, your boys can wait, man. You are building a career. Yep. You're building a name for yourself in the premier fight promotion in the world currently. And you trying to sneak your homies in? Because you 2-0 in UFC, 13-0 overall? Bruh, you were ascendant. If he won this fight, he might be in the title picture, you know? Yeah.
It's one of those things, bro. And like, it's something that you see happen a lot in the band world. You know, your friends, you know, you go in to a show, you get on this really big festival, and oh, dude, I want to come, and like, you feel this like pressure, you feel this like need to give back to the people that were there, so you want to sneak them in. But when you get to like something like this, like the UFC, you know what? I don't think it would have been a big deal. I don't think it would have been as big of a deal if this was any other normal year, right? It would have pissed off Dana White.
Yeah,
he
but
probably
he
would have got a suspension.
He'd have kicked his boys out, and he'd have been like,
yeah,
you can fight, but shut your mouth.
Yeah, or like, you know, suspended him after the fight or something. You know what I'm saying?
But like, all it takes is one of them being around, hugging and treating it like he's... Bro, and you know what's... I'm sure Dana White has a limit on how many people in your entourage you can have. But bruh, if you'd have asked nice and made sure they went through all available COVID protocols, you might have got most of them, maybe even all of them in. But you tried to sneak them in? Bruh!
Stupid.
Yeah, so I read that
I just
story.
don't understand how he didn't think that this would affect him like that. Like, dude, like you're dealing with a pandemic.
Yes.
In a country that's one of the very few that even is going to let something like this happen.
Yes.
With a company that's under strict guidelines to make these fights work.
Yes.
And they've been doing, I got to give it to Dana, they've been doing a great job.
Yes.
They really have.
Yes. We haven't found out about anybody being COVID positive because they were exposed at one of these events, which is why he gets to have people.
Exactly. So,
not a lot, but some
still
were paying a shitload of cash for the privilege.
And that's the thing, because if somebody caught COVID, the Saudi government would be like,
"Yep,
done," and there goes his cash cow for the next God knows how long.
Yes.
And if there's one thing that Dana White cherishes above anything else, as a proud American Republican who voted for Trump, it's money.
Yep. Yep.
And you don't mess with the white man's money, bro.
No.
Straight up, man.
They will crawl over dead bodies for a free $10 bill.
So,
they will crawl through feces for a $1,000 bill.
If you think your Aunt Selma's cheap, wait till you meet a rich dude who has $1 million in the bank and you ask him for $10.
Oh.
They're stingiest motherfuckers ever, bro.
If you want to get cussed out with a quickness, ask a rich man for $1.
Straight up. And anyway, you've reached the end of another great episode of Beats and Beatdowns with myself and Span. Make sure you check us out on all the podcast platforms that you like to listen to. Make sure you give us 5 stars. Make sure you leave us a review. If you have anything you want us to talk about, some interesting news within the rock world or the fight world, please email us. You can always email us, beatsandbeatdowns@gmail. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out my band, Heartsick Band. We go to our IG, Heartsick Band on Facebook, Heartsick Official on YouTube. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you follow us. You can follow me on IG as well.
What's the name of your new single, bro?
New single is called Thrill the Hunt. It'll be on tonight in about 30 minutes when Scary Terry Saturday Nightmare begins. It plays in Lansing, all over mid-Michigan, Lansing, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, a couple other places, as well as Wausau, Wisconsin. So it's in 2 places. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you listen to the show. If you're a real heavy metal fan and you want to listen to stuff that isn't Breaking Benjamin or Godsmack 24/7, Scary Terry Saturday Nightmare is the show you want to listen to. And we're on there and you can check us out. And as always, 305 till I die.
Thanks for listening to Beats and Beatdowns. Review us and give us 5 stars wherever you find us on Apple or Google Podcasts, Stitches, or any other app or directory. And keep up to date with everything we're up to on our Instagram and Twitter pages at Beats ABD. That's Beats ABD.